Creek's got a ranch on the side.
Yeah, I'll get the picture out to everybody.
I took that.
Now Jackie couldn't tell us where you said you don't remember the story though you bought.
No, I don't. No, it was something online, definitely. A Google phone case, and there you go.
Well, this is a Rhino Shield, this thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the brand, yeah. And it's industrial strength. I could throw it at someone.
Well, and this is
Show us.
too slippery.
What's that?
Show us how you can do that.
All right, so, well, hey, congratulations. What a huge moment here to sign that and kind of the long 3-month journey you've been on to get to this spot. If we can, let's go ahead and get the agenda up and just kind of cover some last minute things here. And all right, so what's going to happen, city staff will make sure they get an original copy of this. I'll scan a copy, and I know Claire's scan a copy in, but I'll keep one of these and Claire will get the other one, and we'll scan it, and then we'll get that out to all of you. And again, the council and the mayor will get that. I don't know what the plan is yet, other than, hopefully at the study session on January 6th, that's something, I don't know if the general public attends those or if that's something the council may have questions, but certainly anybody here that would be interested in attending that, I think it'd be great for the council members to have the opportunity to ask you questions, or maybe they even want you to give some kind of a presentation. So let me know if they want them to do some kind of a formal thing versus just answer questions. And then I can put that out there and you guys can kind of figure out who might want to do that. And then I guess this is like a second reading or something where there's a thing where they actually like take a first vote. So that's where you're going to really know like what's happening. I think between these two meetings, you're going to know how much or maybe all of your recommendations they're going to, endorse and move forward with. So that's kind of what will happen in those sessions. And then just so you know, the city does have to get this, if they're going to put this on a ballot, it has to be into the state by the 25th or 28th of January. So there'll be some kind of, and I know that the bond language or whatever is going to be on the ballot is not going to be all of this, right? But the city will, take some of that or whatever they need to do. I don't know, do you ever do bond language? Okay, so I know that'll be run through the attorneys and all that good stuff. So that's something that'll be done by the 28th. And then I'm going to get the fact sheets that'll be used for the public meeting and any kind of outreach you all want to do. So I've already got like a draft of all of the fact sheets done, and I'm just getting it fact checked right now to make sure certain things make sure everything actually is correct on there. And then I'll run that out to you all, and just if you got any questions or concerns or any edits that you want to have made to those items, let me know. So that's kind of where that is. And then on the 3rd, I didn't put the darn date down on there, but the 3rd of February, that's when the open house public meeting is going to happen. Right now, we're going to have it it looks like at the community center. I wanted to get your feedback. We've been meeting from 5 to 7 these last couple of meetings. Would you rather, or do you want to go ahead and have an extra half hour? Would that give you more time to show up for those who want to do this? 5:30 be better? 5:30, 7:30?
I'm good either way.
Okay, so I've talked to the community center folks, and so they know it's kind of one or the other. So I'll let BJ know over there that we're looking at 5:30 to 7:30.
See, what about the time for the residents, citizens of Liberty? Is meeting at 5:30 to 7:30 going to get the people there that want to come, or would it be better to have it maybe 6 to 8? That's just my own thought. People getting off work, if they want to come, they have to rush up there. And if we winning a good attendance, if that's really important, then we need to be able to meet the needs of the public.
Right. So let me kind of explain how the open house, it's an open house meeting format. And what we find with really a lot of experience behind having these kind of meetings, these are meetings where you stay as long or as little as you want. And so they're not going to miss anything if they show up at, 7 o'clock. And with the average length of time that people stay at open house style public meetings is about 20 minutes. So what we find is that by having it at 5:30, people might want to catch it on the way home, check in and go home, have dinner. Or some people do want to go straight home and have dinner and go back. But that is pretty much a sweet spot. I find if we start the meetings like from 6 to 8, by 8 o'clock, it's crickets. Typically it's crickets, and there's a lot of people just kind of standing around. But you got to keep the meeting going because you advertise till 8. So I think the 5:30 to 7:30 hits a really good sweet spot. I think if somebody did show right up at 7:30, we're not going to say, sorry, you can't ask questions, but I think we should be okay with that. The city will, put out some kind of a public notice and, social media. I would again encourage you through your channels, let people know. I think somebody's been tracking Nextdoor comments. So if somebody wants to post something on Nextdoor, and I can put together some kind of language about the meeting for if you guys want to share it in any way that you want to share it. Because typically, like I would write or just design like a display ad for the paper or something. So it'd be roughly the same thing. But that's kind of the advertisement for it. But what's going to happen again with the open house format, there's really going to be like 4 displays, if you will. They're like tabletop displays, and they're going to be a condensed version of the fact sheets, and there'll be pictures on them and all that. So we kind of break down this group, like who might want to staff which display. But basically, the fact sheets and the displays say the exact same things, just the display is a little more condensed. You could actually use the display as a visual aid, right? Because there's going to be photos of what's being talked about on the display. So instead of you just sit there making references to something, say, here's what I'm talking about. Here's why they need more storage. Look at this picture, stuff like that. So between the fact sheets and the displays, you'll have visual aids to use to answer questions or help people understand what you all have experienced through this. So the three main displays that are kind of about your deliberations. There's a meet the study group display. That just helps people understand like where you're all from as far as the whole community basically has a rep from their part of town in this group. It talks about what you've done as far as, your process that you've been through. And then the next one's basically about the need for new, basically what you observed on the tour. So it talks about some of the things that you saw and found on the tour and things that the police department have identified. There's somewhat kind of a deficiency, for them to have modern policing capabilities with the facility use. And then the last one is really kind of about your recommendations, what I call the solution. And that'll again have images, and it talks about some of it'll reflect a lot of your recommendations on that display. And again, you'll see the fact sheets and the displays well before the meeting, by the middle of this coming month. Okay, so it'll be about 2 weeks before the public meeting. So you'll see all that. But what I wanted to try to do is see, and then the 4th really display will be just the designs. And I don't think the floor plan will be up there, but certainly the exterior designs that you've seen, Hafer Welker will have those up there. And so we certainly would want one of you to kind of be there talking about the designs along with Hafer Welker. And then for each other display, so I would imagine like when you talk about the need for a new, expansion or, a rehabilitated facility, if you will, somebody from the police department would be there because they can speak from their perspective as well. And then the solution, again, another police officer, and I would imagine, folks maybe from Public Works or the city, would be there too. So you're not again on an island at these displays, but that way, if somebody comes up and has a question, they can get a citizen that's already been kind of walked a mile in the shoes of this to help explain what's going on, as well as somebody that has to work with and live with it day to day as part of their job and their involvement in the community. And then again, Hafer Welker will be there to talk about some of the design stuff. So I would imagine maybe, Hafer Welker might also have somebody at what we call the solution display, as well as the actual designs, the images to talk to. So that's kind of how that breaks out. And I guess And you can change your mind later, and you're not obligated to show up at this meeting at all, but I hope you will. Some of you or all of you. But I kind of wanted to see if I could at least pencil in some people for some of these various displays. Who might be interested in being part of like Meet the Study Group display?
Yeah, sign me up. February 3rd.
Come on.
Day after the Super Bowl, the Chiefs win.
Oh, dear, I can.
Okay, and Jackie? All right, well, yeah, hopefully we'll get at least two for each one of these. Who would be willing to do the need? Bill and Christina.
What day is election day in April? Is it
April 8th.
right? It is the
April
8th.
8th. I'll write that down.
February 9th is the Super
How come it's
Okay.
a week early, huh?
Bowl. Yeah, February 9th.
And then who would want to be with the solution?
I can be.
Brian and Ed?
Which one's you writing down for? You were down- Oh, everything? I thought it was need, right? Is it need?
Yeah, you volunteered for Meet the Study Group.
Perfect.
Now, you guys can float around too once the meeting gets going, but at least gotta have somebody there first. And then who wants to be with design? Okay?
I could do.
All right, Matt. All right,
You were gonna do a video of what it looks like downstairs now that you were gonna make available.
yeah, virtual tour.
How's that gonna be available?
That,
The need, won't it?
yeah, that would certainly be something, and I think maybe one of the things we'll try to do is figure out a way to maybe have that showing on continuous loop at the meeting as well.
That'd be great.
That'd be great to have that right at the
Is that
meeting.
gonna be in an online format?
Yeah, we could, yeah, I would imagine the city can post it online at YouTube or something but I want to make sure it's connected to the city.
Yeah.
But I'll send it all to you too. Depending on how big the file is, I may do like a WeTransfer so you can download it. But if there's some place somewhere you want to post it, or you want to send it to somebody else so they can see it themselves, and you can just, WeTransfer doesn't cost
So that's
anything.
my second question. It is okay for us to do that, to try to generate support?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Project.
I think the more people
Fairly
that see this video, the better, honestly.
Okay. Because that's why I think that would be useful for some of us that have some social media presence.
Yeah, so we've got kind of the storyboard for the editor to work with. So the storyboard's laid out and what the captions will be for there's not going to be any narration or anything on it. It's just,
Yeah.
just you get to see what's going on with some captions to explain what you're really looking at. So that hopefully will be done by the 15th as well, it should be.
Steve, it looks like some of the previous meetings are on YouTube. Is that something that's?
Right.
Okay, so can we upload it to YouTube then, I guess?
Yeah, yeah.
So then you can just share the link versus having to share the
Right.
file.
And I think,
Yeah.
one thing for the city, I don't know how you've made it known that those YouTube links for the existing meetings are out there.
We put them on social media.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I would just keep referring people, and even you all, and I can send you the links because I've got them now because I just watched them yesterday. You could share those links so people can actually see, some of your deliberative efforts as well.
And there's posts on the police Facebook page with links to those to last two meeting YouTubes that you could just share from the police page too if you want to, or copy the links from.
Right. I shared it, this meeting on there.
And then I guess I've heard some people have seen some pretty interesting comments on Nextdoor about the videos.
I
And
haven't been on there for a while, so.
I didn't pay attention to them.
so, but not bad comments exactly,
Yeah,
but
I've seen them really.
definitely people engaged.
For about 3 weeks.
Okay, let's see the agenda one more time, because I think we just about covered everything here. Okay, yeah, so these are the exhibits. Information campaign. I guess this is kind of a two-headed thing, right? We talked about this at the last meeting. The information campaign really starts with this, well, maybe even these meetings being on YouTube is part of the information campaign. But this really kicks off with this open house meeting. And then from that point on, again, I would encourage you to the extent that you're comfortable doing anything to share what you've learned here about this. If you have different professional circles that you get involved with, if you're a member of Kiwanis or Rotary or any other professional groups, PTAs, things like that, those organizations are almost always looking for somebody to come in and speak on some very interesting topics. And this certainly should be a big issue for the community at large. And And so if you feel so inclined to go talk to them, that'd be great. I can even take the fact sheets and all that and maybe turn it into a PowerPoint for you, or just show it as a PDF. You can, pretty much use PDFs as a slideshow too. But those are things you could use if you wanted to have something as a visual aid, if you want to go out and talk to some groups. And then again, I would imagine the city is going to do, obviously, if they're going to put something on the ballot, they need to explain it to the voters, the citizens of the community, why they're asking them to consider this. And again, they can't say vote yes, vote no. They've got to go out there and just let people know, here's why we're trying to do this. But you can be as strong of an advocate for this project as you care to be. So that's kind of what the information campaign looks like, I guess, running all the way up to April 8th. So other than that, there's the date I was looking for up there. But so that next meeting would be on the 3rd, and we'll get it pinned down to 5:30 to 7:30. And then again, look forward to the draft materials before we go and make those final. And you'll get copies of this, get your copies of the links for these meetings. So at this point, are there any other questions? Any concerns? Well, then, again, I commend you for the incredible work that you've done on behalf of all your neighbors and for your police department and for your city government. So it's been a real blessing for me to be part of this with you. I guess I'll see you in February. We are adjourned. Have a great evening and Happy New Year.